What is very interesting, the term Ayurveda, it means the science of life, the knowledge of life. We can also say it's the knowledge of the laws of life. And the principles, the knowledge of life, the knowledge of Ayurveda is deeply ingrained in us. It's nothing special. When you speak to people about Ayurvedic principles, they all say, okay, this is not nothing new. This is nothing new. It's obvious. And the problem is not that the people do not know how they should behave properly with respect to their health. The problem is that it's not that they do not know. The problem is that they do not do. This is the problem.
Just to make another parallel between Western medicine and Ayurveda, Western medicine says an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Very obvious. And Ayurveda says the same thing. Detect imbalances in the physiology early, because if you don't do something to rebalance the system, those imbalances become illness. The illness will then become disease. And once it advances to that stage, it is much more difficult, or maybe even impossible, to effectively treat. And yet, all of us are guilty, I think, to some extent, of not taking those simple preventative measures. And it's one of the things I love about Ayurveda is its emphasis on prevention. So why is it, and how can you help people implement simple lifestyle or dietary changes that will be effective in terms of preventing them becoming ill?
There's a very important principle. Knowledge has organizing power. When you compare it always with the traffic, when you go by car to a traffic light and the light is red, then you usually stop. When you feel, why should I stop? Because there's a red light. I do not want that a red light tells me if I stop or if I don't stop. And you just continue. It's your choice. But you have to bear the consequence. And the same is true with your body. Our body functions according to specific principles, to laws. These are the laws of life. And they are ingrained in us. If we live according to these laws, everything is fine. But when we violate these laws, then we drift up into an illness. In Ayurveda, you actually, like in any other medical system, the principle is always balance. Balance is the key thing. We call it, for example, in modern physiology, homeostasis. Homeostasis means the balance of the physiological functioning. And the same is true in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, you distinguish between three, you could say, biological programs. They're called Vata, Pitta, Kapha. They are Sanskrit terms. Vata means movement. Everything what moves in our system is directed and geared by this Vata principle. If you lift your hand, if your heart beats, the lungs are going out, a cell is dividing. Wherever there's movement, Vata is active and gearing these processes. Pitta is digestion, metabolism, heat production. Everything what goes in our system, Pitta is digesting it. The Agni principle, which I mentioned, the fire, is very much related to Pitta. And Kapha is the mass, the material. And these three, they're all working together. And depending what is the ideal relationship and combination of these three in your system, this defines your constitution and your ideal balance. And this is different for every person. Therefore, the great thing about Ayurveda is that you always have to do an individualized treatment. If a person comes to you, you see what is his imbalance. You don't see what is his disease, but you say what is his imbalance. And then you treat the imbalance. Because there can be very different symptoms arising from the same imbalance. When you treat each symptoms individually, you have so many different medicines, and you disregard the underlying imbalance, then you always treat the symptoms, but you do not treat the cause. And in Ayurveda, you always treat the cause, not only the symptom.
This is a big and important difference between Western medicine and Ayurveda. Like Western medicine is focused on wait until you have symptoms and then we'll give you something to
Right.
alleviate those symptoms. But as you said, without treating the underlying cause. Whereas Ayurveda says, let's find what's causing this. What's
That's it.
causing it? Why are you ill? And let's treat that imbalance, and then the symptoms will dissipate on their own.
And you can imagine, yeah, when you have isolated, when you have identified the imbalance, you surround this imbalance. And then you shoot from all different angles in order to create the balance again. When you have, for example, an imbalance, and you treat it with a medicine, with an herbal medicine, um, Ayurvedic medicine, and at the same time you eat in a way which increases the imbalance again, then the medicine is not very useful. And the same is true for many other modalities which you implement. You have to make sure that all the different treatments which you give, they support each other. They are not counteracting, but they are in the same, going in the same direction. That means you surround the imbalance and then you shoot from different angles
Right.
to eliminate the
And
imbalance.
they support each other and amplify the effect.
That's it.
That's wonderful. You were talking about blue zones earlier and Okinawa and longevity. And it reminds me of the fact that the Ayurvedic textbooks actually begin with the expression Ayurveda Amritanam.
That's it.
Ayurveda is for immortality. So longevity is fundamental in the objectives of Ayurveda.
Absolutely.